and this is show number 31. So let's start just for a moment by putting the soles of the feet together, lift and tilt. Gently stretch. As you tilt your pelvis forward, stretch through the hips and through the lumbar back. You don't even have to go down very far. You just want to get a gentle stretch and get that circulation going into those muscles. And then come back up into the upright position. We're going to go into the standing position, so you need to cross your ankles, bringing your heels in very, very close to your seat, and lift your hands up and lean forward, put the weight over your feet, and stand up. One thing that people don't frequently practice on is balance. I'm going to ask you to put all of your weight on your right leg. Bend the left knee. Just feel the weight on that right leg. Stare at one spot on the floor in order to latch onto something, and bring your foot up and push it to the inside of your thigh. Wiggle the ankle all you want, and put your foot back down. If you are pregnant, this will affect your balance. If you're retaining fluids, it affects your inner ear. That will affect your balance. Of course, if you have any cold or sinus problem, that will affect your balance. Wiggle around, hop around, it doesn't matter. Just get the feel for that balancing pose, and back down again. Again, going onto the right leg, and as you grow older, it's harder to balance because we never do that. So if you feel more secure by putting your hand on a chair or against the wall, you're still getting the workout through your leg. So you put your foot to the inside, push your knee back, bring your arms overhead, and hold. Arms down and leg down. That is called the tree pose. And all again we're trying to do is establish where your weight, the distribution, and the balance. So bring your foot up, and don't worry if you hop, elbows back, arms down, and leg down. Flex through your knees, flex through your knees. And we're going to stretch out through your hamstrings. You're going to bend at the hip joints. If you'll think of your legs as being a case where a jackknife that has the blade, from your hip joints to the top of your head is the blade, from the hip joints to your feet is the jacket that it fits into. First, you need to separate your feet a comfortable distance apart. You want to draw your stomach in and lengthen your waist. You begin to bend at the hip joints. Now, we've done this before. Hamstrings are an extremely tenuous area to work on. If you work them too hard or too fast, you can really get into trouble with that. Breathing softly, slide your hands onto your knees, making a tabletop with your back where you could actually put a place setting. And you continue to stretch forward, bending at the hip joints. Bend at the hip joints, folding forward, folding forward. Breathe softly. Drop your head down and bring your forehead in toward your shin bones. Lift up your head, line your neck up to your spine. Inhale, coming up out of the hip joints. Come straight up out of your hip joints. That is a deep stretch. You don't need to take it all the way down. If you are a runner, you really know the importance of getting these hamstrings stretched down. So again, bending at the hip joints, arms alongside. Now you lengthen up your torso, separate your toes a little bit, begin to bend forward at the hip joints, folding forward. Now something that people do, because it's an easy kind of way out, is to throw the seat back, because that takes the pressure off. Try to make sure that you keep your hips over your feet, and you don't have them exactly over your feet, because then you would topple forward. But go forward, breathing softly, breathing softly. Ease your hands down, the back of your legs. Hold on to your ankles if you're able. Draw your stomach in. Pull your head down in between your arms and stretch. Lift up your head, line your neck up to your spine, come back up again. This has been mentioned again previously, but when you're getting ready to stretch, even coming down this far, going no farther forward, getting the depth of the stretch in your hamstrings, and then coming back up out of it. 2 or 3 of those, and every time you go down a little bit farther forward. So one last time, lengthen up, inhale, exhale, bend at the hip joints, fold forward. Now flow, lead with your chin, bend at the hip joints, not at the waist, pull down, lengthen out through the low back, put your hands along your ankles, pull your head to your shin bones, lift up your head, come up out of your hip joints, inhaling all the way up, and exhale. Good. Now, cross your ankles and ease down. We're going to work a posture that is a combination of 2 different poses. This is going to be working your biceps, your triceps. It's going to be opening up through the chest area. So you need to bend your knees and have your feet flat. You push up onto your feet and make a tabletop with your body. That really means lift your hips. They want to sag. This is what really your body wants to do. Don't let that happen. Lift way up. Now slowly push your knees forward. Bring your hips down to your heels. Now push back up into a tabletop. Tighten up your seat muscles. Now this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Bend your elbows. Bend the elbows, bend, and put your waistline on the floor. Take a look at your elbows. Look back and make sure, because even in my classes, when I'm individually teaching people, they don't do this. They come here and they just lower their seat. They are not getting the workout in the upper arms. So let's try it again. Lift up, pick up your seat, go into a pelvic tilt, lift your tailbone, bend the elbows, ease down, try to put the waistline on the floor, look back and make sure that your elbows are bent. Then push up, lift up your seat, slowly glide forward, lengthen out those muscles in your arms, come down to your heels, push up, way up, lean back now, get those hips up. All right, bend your elbows. This is like a backward push-up, and it's kind of hard on the shoulder joints. I mean, admittedly, it's putting a whole new angle into those joints. Push up, way high, lean forward, lengthen out those arm muscles, way down to your heels. Push up, lean back. Get the weight on your hands. Bend your elbows. Make sure you're bending them, otherwise you're kind of not getting a real workout. Put the waistline on the floor. Push up. Fold forward. Stretch. Hips down. Push up. Way up over your hands. I know it's kind of hard, but don't despair. Let's try it again. Pelvis up, bend your elbows, go into a pelvic tilt, put your waist on the floor, push way up, way up, and hips to your heels. Lengthen out your muscles, lengthen, coming back up again, the weight on your hands, pelvic tilt, bend the elbows, put the waist on the floor, and one last time. Push up, way high, lean forward, back up, and sit. Good. Now I know you really feel that. It really is something that your joints are not accustomed to, that degree of a twist to the back. So rub your shoulder joint and make circles with one arm. That will really increase your strength and muscle tone and make circles with the left one. And both going back. Work through the shoulder blades, kind of work the shoulder blades back and relax. Putting the soles of the feet together. Again, stretch forward, lengthen out your torso, lengthen your spine. Fold forward gently, bending at the hip joints only, not at the waistline. Try to put your head onto your feet. Then pick up your head, line it up to your spine, and then come out of the hip joints. Make the motion in the hip joints. We have done a number of spinal rocks that massage the back and bring more flexibility into the spine. Most notably, we've held on to the knees and rolled back, straighten out the legs, and then come forward into a clam. This time we're going to come to an abrupt stop when we come back out of it and putting the feet flat on the floor. This is more for control. So hold on to your shin bones, tighten up your stomach, and you tuck your chin in. You don't want to keep your head straight. You don't want to go banging back on your head. And of course, you would not go with great momentum anyway. Begin to roll down. Straighten out your legs, bend your knees and come straight up and sit. Squeeze your thighs into your ribs. Try to have your spine upright. Tighten up your stomach, begin to relax. Ease back, straighten out. Lift up your legs a little higher. Bend the knees, come straight up and to an abrupt stop. Get to the front part of your sitting bones. Lengthen up your spine, lengthen up. Always having the awareness of your spinal alignment. Tuck in your stomach, tuck your chin into your chest, roll back, straighten out your legs, lift your legs up a little bit higher, bend your knees, come up, and immediate stop. Lengthen up, stretch up your spine, and roll back. Find your balance, roll up, get to the front part of your sitting bones, squeeze, stretch, and relax. Put the soles of your feet together, fold forward. For every minute you're angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Think about that. Fold forward. Till later. Bye.
To purchase a copy of Stretching for Athletes, program 012-002, please call 1-800-553-7752 or write to the address on your screen.